If ethanol were discovered today, it would likely be classified as a Schedule A drug alongside heroin and cocaine. It is
We
addictive,
finalized the formula.
damages
It
the
meets
liver,
all the low toxicity
alters
requirements.
Excellent
and is
work.
linked to
The
more than
samples look
200
perfect.
diseases. So why is it sold legally right next to milk and fruit juice in your local supermarket? The answer lies not in morality, but in standardization. As societies industrialized, ethanol stopped being viewed purely as a toxin or a ritual substance. It became a technical product measured by concentration, purity, process, taxation, and regulation. The industrial standardization of toxicity transformed alcohol into something considered safe, not because it is harmless, but because its risks are controlled by systems. In the modern world, safety is defined less by molecular nature than by humanity's ability to manage it. From the fear of methanol poisoning in crude bootleg distillation, humanity learned to turn ethanol into a global industry supported by millions of workers,
by the demon rum.
engineers,
This poison steals
chemists,
husbands and ruins
and lawmakers maintaining the fragile boundary between intoxication and death. Behind a glass of red wine at dinner lies a massive machine where ethics, chemistry, and economics merge into a controlled compromise standardization as a survival strategy. Ethanol and methanol, two molecules differing by just one carbon atom, carry radically different fates, one used to celebrate, the other to kill. Methanol CH3OH is metabolized by the liver into formaldehyde and formic acid, substances that destroy the optic nerve and can cause blindness or death. Ethanol C2H5OH, meanwhile, can actually suppress methanol's toxicity when present in the same metabolic pathway. Yet before industrial regulation, that boundary was dangerously fragile. Bootleg spirits,
yes on this
produced with primitive techniques,
It is the only way to curb
often
the
contain
excesses
methanol,
of industry.
whose boiling point differs from ethanol by only about 11 degrees Celsius. A small error in distillation could turn a celebration into a funeral. Legalization was never about forgiving alcohol's risks. It was about industrial control, establishing standards for concentration, distillation processes,
is an engineering
and
achievement,
mandatory chemical labeling.
not a moral virtue.
From that point onward,
It is
ethanol
built
became
on
a product of
precision,
quality control
not
rather
hope.
than chance. What we call safe alcohol is the achievement of chemical engineers, not moral virtue. A society may allow people to consume poison as long as it is standardized down to parts per million. Alcohol is not merely a beverage. It is a global infrastructure industry. From barley fields in Scotland and vineyards in Bordeaux to the transcontinental shipping routes of sake and tequila, every drop of ethanol passes through thousands of technical stages, millions of workers, and dense logistics networks. In the 21st century, the alcohol supply chain closely resembles fossil fuel infrastructure resource extraction, refining, transportation, distribution, taxation, and recycling. If a nation were to ban alcohol entirely, the result would not simply be sobriety. It could trigger a chain reaction affecting employment, trade, and exports. In 2022, the global alcohol industry was valued at over $1.5 trillion USD, comparable to the GDP of Australia. Roughly one-third of that value came from indirect taxes, stabilizing national budgets. The real question is no longer,
We have made the
is
requested
alcohol
amendments and
harmful,
section. We must
but
move forward now.
do we have the
terms
infrastructure
regarding
to
the water
live
rights
without
are
it?
still
Ethanol has embedded itself into society, much like electricity or oil, a kind of infrastructural toxin on which modern systems depend. No country truly accepts alcohol. They negotiate with it.
Thanks
This is
to dedicated
the unspoken
alcohol tax
social
revenues,
contract.
hospitals
Citizens
across
are
the
allowed
nation are
access
providing
to a
state-of-the-art
controlled
care
level of
and
harmful
groundbreaking
pleasure,
research.
while
We have
governments
classified as a level
collect
2
taxes to
This form
manage
covers
the
the initial qualification and
consequences. Sin taxes become the mechanism that legitimizes a moral paradox. People pay for the right to harm themselves, and the state uses that money to repair the damage. In the United Kingdom, alcohol and tobacco taxes contribute a significant portion of public health care funding. In Vietnam, special consumption tax on beer and spirits reaches around 65%.
This synthetic
Societies
alcohol compound
tolerate
offers a
accidents,
safer alternative to traditional ethanol,
violence,
minimizing the impact on the liver.
and illness as part of the operating cost of modern life, much like accepting pollution in exchange for energy. In this sense, alcohol is more than a product. It is a tool for redistributing risk. Consumers damage their own bodies while helping sustain welfare systems. Every pint of beer becomes a small vote for that system, where pleasure is taxed and pain is quantified. At Imperial College London, pharmacologist David Nutt has been researching a compound called Alcarel, an artificial alcohol designed to produce relaxation and pleasure, without harming the liver or brain. The idea raises a profound question. Can society separate pleasure from toxicity? If ethanol is a biological legacy, Alcarel could become a technological one, preserving dopamine rewards while removing oxidative stress, like a software patch fixing an ancient bug. Yet the challenge is not purely scientific. A trillion-dollar industry will not easily replace itself. Alcohol companies, like energy conglomerates, are investing in green intoxication, low-toxicity drinks, or alcohol-free products that simulate the same sensations. In the coming decades, ethanol may resemble coal, gradually replaced, yet never entirely gone, because, ultimately, humans are not addicted to liquid, they are addicted to the feeling of briefly escaping themselves. Alcohol exists not because it is safe, but because it has been standardized enough to be acceptable. Between toxicity and control, humanity chose control because biological instincts cannot be erased by morality alone. In the world of engineering and governance, ethanol is no longer just a poison. It is a symbol of a deeper truth. We do not eliminate danger, we learn to measure it.